Do you remember the Mickey Mouse cartoons from the 1930s? The ones put out on DVD a few years ago. Well, I hear that there's one that was unreleased even to the most avid Disney classic film fans. According to most sources, it's nothing special. It's just a continuous loop of Mickey Mouse walking past 6 buildings for 2 or 3 minutes before fading out. Unlike the cutesy tunes in other cartoons, however, the song on this wasn't cutesy at all. All it was a constant banging on piano keys for about a minute and a half, before going white for the remainder of the film. It wasn't the jolly old Mickey we've come to love either. Mickey wasn't dancing or even smiling. He was just kind of walking as if you would walk, with his head tilted to the side as he kept this dismal look upon his face. Up until a year or two ago, everyone believed that was it after it cut to black. When Leonard Maltin was reviewing the cartoon be put in the complete series, he decided against it. However, he wanted to have a digital copy due to the fact it was one of Walt's creations. When he had it digitized, he realized something. That the cartoon was actually 9 minutes and 4 seconds long. This is what my source, an acquaintance of Mr. Maltin, and a personal assistant to one of the higher Disney executives had to say to me in an email he sent. After it cut to black, it stayed like that until the 6th minute, before going back to Mickey walking. The sound was different this time, though instead of the piano, there was a murmuring. It wasn't actually talking, but more like gurgled crying. As the noise got more indistinguishable and loud over the next minute, the picture began to get strange. The sidewalks started to go in directions that seemed impossible based upon how Mickey was walking. The dismal face of the mouse was slowly curling into a smirk, too. On the 7th minute, the murmur turned into a blood-curdling scream, and the picture was becoming more obscure. Colors were happening that shouldn't have been possible at the time. Mickey's face began to fall apart, with his eyes rolling to the bottom of his chin and his curled smile pointing upward on the left side of his face. The buildings became rubble floating amid the air. The sidewalk was still impossibly navigating in warped directions. Mr. Maltin became disturbed and left the room, sending an employee to finish the video and take notes of everything that happened up until the last second, and immediately store the disc of the cartoon in the vault afterward. The distorted screaming lasted until 8 minutes and a few seconds in, when abruptly cuts to Mickey's face at the end of every video with what sounded like an out-of-tune music box playing in the background. This happened until the last 30 seconds, but I haven't been able to find out what happens in those final seconds. What happens next is told to me by a security guard who was making the rounds that night. After the video ended, the employee stumbled out of the room looking extremely pale. He repeated the words, "Real suffering is not known." He repeated this 7 times before taking the guard's pistol and shooting himself. The only thing I could get out of Leonard Maltin was that the last frame was a piece of Russian text that roughly said, "The sights of hell bring its viewers back in." As far as I know, no one else has seen it. However, there have been dozens of attempts to get the file on the internet by the employees inside the studio. All of them were promptly fired afterwards. Whether or not it got online is up for debate. But if rumors serve me right, it's online under the name suicidemouse.avi. If you ever find a copy of it, please do not watch it. Instead, contact me by phone immediately, either through a message in the box down below or directly through my YouTube. When Disney covers up a death this well, it means it has to be something huge.